Hey, how you doing?
The busy man of the hour. I'm doing great. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, good man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on and chat with us here. I know we've been in contact for a little bit, so I've been looking forward to chatting.
Yeah, man, I've been enjoying the little bits of coverage you've been adding. So yeah, I'm excited to chat.
Well, I guess the first thing I have to say is huge congratulations, man, are in order because winner of Survivor AU Blood versus Water. What is that feeling like now that you've gone and you've won the thing?
It's pretty crazy. I only got told like not even 24 hours ago, and I think it's a bit of vindication for Sam and I. We played first time almost 5 years ago. We felt like we could have done a better job, and to come back and have a second opportunity to play again was a real honor. And to have done a good job of it the second time around is really cool. It feels like it was unfinished business before, and now we've had a good go at it.
I mean, you guys played. Sorry, I got lost here. I haven't been able to write my notes, so I have to do it on my phone now. So it's like all mashed together, and I'm trying to not lose them here. So, what was a common question here that I'm sure you've gotten several times? You came back as an experienced player. What was the biggest difference this time around, other than the last time you played?
I think the big difference was having had the first experience of Survivor. We kind of understood some of the tricks and traps that you can fall into if you're not experienced or you haven't seen it before. So, like pacing yourself, not working too hard if you can avoid it. It's such a long game. Not getting too eager with moves. Like you have got a long time to make moves, and you've got to be careful with your timing. You don't want to overexpose yourself. But at the same time, you've got to have something you can point to and say, that was mine. And just how you share information and how much work you need to put into being sociable and building up good relationships. So there's a foundation for your game. If you don't lay that foundation early, there's not anything that comes after it is harder because you haven't put the work into other people, and you need people if you're going to go far in the game.
Well, you played in my eyes. Every single time we did a podcast, I was hyping you up. I'm like, do you guys see Mark in this challenge and stuff, this strategic game? I mean, it was really from what I saw, a perfect game. Strategical mastermind, physical, great at challenges. But I do have to say, you played this game with someone else, your loved one, Sam. And I don't want Sam to go unnoticed here because I thought she was a huge part in your victory and your guys' plan, especially with how you guys handled the two idols. So how important was Sam to your end game?
Oh, huge. And you couldn't have one without the other in that game. We played so closely and we were so aligned. Even if we didn't agree on everything initially, we still played as one pair towards that single goal. And I think it's probably one of the most underappreciated moves so far in Survivor. The fact that Sam was willing to basically sacrifice her game, go to a jury and keep playing from the jury while I was still in the game with two idols. So I feel like as time goes on, people are going to realize how big a deal that move was, to give me the opportunity to go to a jury that's already been that's had our game explained to them already. So she was instrumental.
I was just so impressed with how you guys played as a duo. Cause I mean, there were a lot of great duos this season. I think of you guys, I think of Jordy and Jesse, I think of Josh and Jordan. But it was just so impressive that you guys worked so well together. As soon as you won, I looked at my family as we're sitting there watching it. And I said, yes, Mark is the champion, but you got to give Sammy something here as well, because I don't know, maybe you could have made it there, but I'm like, Sammy was so huge in the moves that you guys made together.
Absolutely. Totally. And I think one of the hardest bits about this is that in a lot of ways, she is the one out of both of us that deserved to get the full distance of the game and to have that kind of shiny part at the end and the accolades that go with that. And she didn't, and she sacrificed her game for our family and the whole mission that we had set ourselves when we went there. So it's such a big move, and I hope that she gets the credit for that she's due.
Well, I think another thing involving Sam is one of your most underrated moves of the season, and I don't know if casual fans would appreciate this move, but when the tribe swapped happened and you got stuck in the middle and you had two choices here, you can either go in the doghouse or you can go in the water tribe. And you chose to go in the doghouse with your majority alliance. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, that could be a huge move for Mark because it was a smart move. Sam was, you don't know obviously really what's going on with Sam and everything, but just to stick with which tribe had the most of your allies in it. What was going on in your mind in that decision-making moment? Because I know it couldn't be easy.
Oh, it was pretty crazy because I realized I had the blank buff, right? And I had a choice to make, but I only had about 20 or 30 seconds, probably about 30 seconds. And I was looking between the two and I'm like, got Sam there, so probably safety. Then I got these guys here. And it was an easy choice in the end because I'm like, we need to play a part so that people don't realize how much of a threat we are once we're together. And so I think that choice of keeping us separate, it let us build two separate games together, two separate alliances that we could then bring together at a later point. But it also gave me, because I was in majority, it gave me a bit of breathing space and I wasn't on the bottom constantly fighting and using all the energy and resources that you don't really have in the game. So I think that was a really good choice. It was probably better than I realized at the time. And I think it made my life a lot easier.
So we have to, such a short time here to talk about such an incredible game, Mark. I can't tell you how perfect I think your game was here. But at the same time, you found not one, but you got your hands, technically Sam was the other one. You got your hands on two idols, which that has to be an incredible feeling in the game of Survivor. That's like every Survivor fan's dream. But you're sitting with two idols. No one knows it other than Jordy at the final 7. What was going on with nobody believing you have two idols and just you guys continuing to not play it? I was like, are they just going to keep these things till the very end? I know that had to be the plan there.
It was pretty funny because I was saying to Sam, like, we're committed to this. We have to keep lying about it. And we're just fortunate that Jordy had been kind of loose enough with the truth that people kind of didn't believe him. Like he was the boy that cried wolf. And when he needed them to believe him, they wouldn't really do it. There was just doubt there. And so I remember sitting there going, I've got these idols, but I just had this feeling. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm going to win another immunity. I'm going to get targeted at the 5 vote or the 6 vote. And as it stands, I think one of the moves I'm most proud of is that 5 vote where I think we were cooked. We were looking at going, look, they're going to get one of us boys now, then they're going to get the next boy at 4 when Shay wins, which he's going to, and then we're done. But it was easy because Josh and I are looking at each other going, dude, we've got to work together. And so I said, look, I'll sell you as the obvious target, and then we'll load up on KJ and see how we go. And it ended up working.
It somehow worked. Like everything fell exactly how you guys needed it to. And it was
so tight. It was so tight.
It was one of the best moments of the season. And the funny thing is you always pray that, if someone knows about the idol, they don't go and blab it, because that was a huge thing for you. You said, Sandra said, rule number 1 of Survivor, do not tell anyone about your idol. And you knew once they found out, you're like, well, now everyone's going to know. Well, he did tell everyone, just no one believed him. So it was perfect for you guys in the end.
Yeah. And I think, sorry,
go
you
ahead.
go. Yeah.
Oh, no, you're good. I was pulling up my next question. So
I was just saying that when I played the Sam's idol, it was a bit of a dud play because I was looking at it going, there's nothing I'm seeing that suggests the votes are on me. But I kind of had to play it anyway because I'm like, what if I'm targeted anyway and I go home with an idol? So I just decided to play it. But that was a flaw in my game, is that I played that idol, antagonized the jury as well. And so that was definitely a mistake, but it also lowered my threat profile a bit, which was a bonus.
So from the 2 times that you've played now, 2 different distinct places, 2 completely different wildernesses and all that, what would you say was the hardest part about being out there, or the hardest part about coming back and playing the game?
I think I'm a bit older now. Like I'm 42, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So it does get a bit harder with age. But the heat in the Aussie one was incredible. It was like,
probably hotter than any of us could imagine.
120 Fahrenheit sometimes, 40 plus degrees Celsius. It was really hot. But at least at night it was cool. We weren't getting rained on. When I played in Samoa, we were just getting rained on 24/7. So that was miserable too.
Obviously couldn't be fun. Well, we look at the end of the game, final four, you, Josh, Shay, Chrissy, and it still blows my mind that Josh didn't try to target you more on that final four. There was a lot of talking about who you wanted to kind of sit at the end with, and you didn't have much choice when it came with Shay won immunity. What was going through your mind at that last tribal council when you ended up going up against Josh?
Oh, it was pretty awful because I'd played with Josh the whole time. We were mates. We trusted each other. And when he came to me and said, I'm going to vote Chrissy, I think this is good. We can go together. I believed him. I think I knew that's what he was going to do. But I went to Chrissy and said, look, Josh is going to vote for you. I'm going to vote for Josh, and it's up to you what you do. And I was kind of resigned to it. I'm like, that's my pitch, and maybe I'll get through, maybe I won't. But I think that was the best I could do. And I think that the game doesn't hinge on one conversation you have at the end. It hinges on the game that you played throughout the whole thing and whether those people trust you or want to work with you or not. And it just happens to be that Chrissy was the deciding vote and decided to go against Josh, and it was heartbreaking. It was honestly awful. It was really hard.
So we saw both conversations. Did it ever cross your mind? I mean, did it ever cross your mind to take Josh with you, kind of vote with him, kind of try to split it 2-2, or were you set on Josh was going home here and there was nothing he could say to talk into teaming up with him?
I think the smart move was to go against Josh. I think I wanted to go to the end with him, but I was like, it's going to be smarter if I don't try and take him on. Because he had played such a good game. He didn't get credit for it either. Like, he didn't get his edit underplayed his game. He played an amazing game. Great relationships, good strategist, brilliant physically. So yeah, he was a powerhouse.
So for all of our listeners listening here, and I guess myself too, because I haven't been able to play the game Survivor yet. What is this now that you've played twice and you've fully completed it? What was this entire journey like for you? And I'm not talking just inside the game, but there's a lot that happens outside the game. I see all the pictures of you guys hanging out and stuff, and you really do form bonds and friendships that are going to last a lifetime. And you're going to make some great memories with these people. So what was the entire journey like? And not only that, you got to do something that a lot of people don't get to do, and you got to play with your loved one, Sam. So just kind of put us in that mindset of, now that it's all said and done your second time through, what everything feels like.
Yeah, I think when you first look at the Survivor application form and fill it out, like, I had no idea what was going to happen or what the game was going to bring. And it's done more for my life than I ever thought kind of possible. It was such a fun experience. I met my wife there. I have a family now. We got a second opportunity to play together and kind of finish that unfinished business. So to me, it's really brought me a lot in my life, and I'm grateful to have had a second shot. I think Sam feels the same way as well. It's been really special.
Well, someone that we can't forget out of the entire family that I think captured everyone's hearts just as much as you guys did is little Harry. How is he doing? I had to ask. He's adorable. How's he doing, man?
Yeah, he's such a cute little man. And easily the hardest part of the game was leaving him behind. It was such a difficult thing to do as a parent. And, he's a little Survivor baby. So he's now. We're
going to see him on the show someday. Can we expect that?
Yeah, we'll train him up. We'll get him in there. Yeah. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's great.
Well, the last question that I always love to ask people, it's just kind of like a lighthearted question to wrap things up here is, would you go back? Now it's different for you. It'd be your third time. You've reached the pinnacle of Survivor. So what is there left to prove? Would you go back and play a third time?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, I feel like that arc is complete for me. I don't know what more I'd have to offer. So I don't think I'll go back. I really hope that Samantha goes back. I think she's got more to offer. I would love to see her play again, maybe from the comfort of my couch this time rather than actually being out there with her. But I feel like she's got a lot to offer the game. I hope Josh goes back. I really do. He's like such a weapon.
He said he would. I would say that. He told me earlier
good.
He would.
Yeah. I hope that Nina goes back. I mean, I feel like we stole her from the US franchise. So she was a real catch.
Yeah. She's the queen of Australia now. Yeah.
Oh, she's Queen 2.0. So I really hope we get to see those players again. They were fantastic. Chrissy and Geordie, they're two more that I think will come back.
It was such a great cast and everything. And I didn't have this written down, but I do have to ask, before Nina got taken out of the game, this was something that we talked about on the podcast, actually. Were you and Nina super close based off alliances and where you guys were fitting in? Because we kind of argued about this a little bit. I said, I think they're super close. And other people were like, nah, I don't think she's the closest to him.
We were pretty close because I feel like we had the early vote with Andy. We both worked really well together. And we kind of went, bang, I can work with you. Like, I trust you. And so we had that early alliance going. And I could see that people were excited by that. They're like, this is a cool pairing. So we were close, but I think she became closer to Josh as the game went on. Yeah. And then that was testament to Josh. He just had good relationships everywhere. But I hope she comes back. I hope Josh comes back and we get to see him again.
It would be really fun. Well, Mark, I'll let you go. I know you have a super busy day. Thank you so much for taking time to speak with us today.
Mate, thanks. You've been a huge ambassador for the game and I've loved your coverage. So thank you.
You have an open invitation anytime you'd like to join us. So enjoy the rest of your day, man.
We'll do a longer one for sure.
Oh, awesome. Cheers, mate.
Awesome, mate. See you soon.